names.
Well, for the past several weeks, we've seen rapid changes to names, statues, and institutions as communities try to be more inclusive. While not everyone is happy about those changes, this morning our Micah Smith gives us a 360 look at what experts say communities can do to make sure everyone's voices are heard.
For weeks now, as a country, we've watched a question about policing morph into a bigger question of belonging and whose life matters in our communities. Colorado is venturing into an uncharted territory of change, and some communities that want to be on the forefront aren't sure where to start.
This is hard work. This is iterative work. It's an evolution.
We're taking you 360 on what communities are doing to be more inclusive, with a catalyst for the Equity Project, which helps groups work toward diversity and inclusion. The co-chairs of Denver's African American Commission, who say representation is important. The co-founder of Race to Dinner, who says communities need to have painful conversations. And a historian who says knowing about the past matters.
This is a wonderful opportunity for us to disrupt a myth. The myth is that diversity is just about people of color. Even if you're a white person, you really are in the definition of diversity. It actually includes all of us.
Dr. Nita Mosby-Tyler, the catalyst for the Equity Project, says the first step in diversity and inclusion work is truly knowing what the words mean.
Diversity in and of itself is really about honoring the richness and the beauty of the differences of all of us. Inclusion is really about what you do with your diversity. It's the action.
But Mosby-Tyler says when practicing inclusion, it's important to take note of who's currently represented.
When you look around decision-making tables, who's there and who might be missing?
Ms. Ghana Tesfaye and Barry Overton are the co-chairs of Denver's African American Commission, who want to make sure their community is at the table.
I felt like the commission was the best way to speak truth to power and bring our community's voice to City Hall.
Tesfaye says for him, communities can be inclusive by amplifying the voices that were once silenced. And Overton says his work toward inclusion means being a bridge between communities, especially as a retired Denver police officer of 26 years and the father of a 17-year-old black son.
So it's kind of put me in a position where I see two islands that are throwing projectiles at one another. But I think the key is that we need more people to be the bridge in building between those two islands.
Both Overton and Tesfaye say building that bridge requires tough conversations.
Just tell the truth. Tell the truth, and let's have some honest, healing conversations.
Regina Jackson, the co-founder of Race to Dinner, an organization that facilitates unconventional conversations surrounding racism and bigotry, says to be inclusive, a community must communicate with honesty.
And we tell people, this is work. If you're going to be in this work, you need to lose. There's no wins. You're going to lose. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose family members.
Jackson says Race to Dinner conversations start with a white woman who wants to do that hard work, hosting a dinner for women of color where they have painful conversations about the present and the dark history of our country.
It's based on stolen land, genocide, enslavement of people.
Colorado was born because the Union prevailed in the Civil War, but the Union out here also meant conquest over Native Americans.
Susan Schulten, a professor of history at the University of Denver, says the oppressive past gives insight into the rush for inclusion and equity.
Part of the urgency around bringing down markers or renaming is understandable. In other words, it has to do with the broadening of our population, the diversification of our population.
Mosby-Tyler says communities' biggest opportunity for inclusion is embracing that diversity.
Really explore your proximity to people that are different than you are.
Mosby-Tyler says if you're surrounded by people exactly like yourself, step out of that box. Because when we're willing to do the things that make us uncomfortable, we can begin to be the change we want to see. Reporting in Denver, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
And now we want to hear your perspectives on diversity and inclusion in Colorado. You can share your views by emailing us to 360@thedenverchannel.com.
6:40 now, and you are looking live right now from our Denver 7 roof cam at Spear and Lincoln in downtown Denver. 69 degrees out there this morning. Let's send it out to Lisa for